My name's Vincent.
My name's Tom.
And welcome to Game Day TV. Today we're going to give you our mid-year review, and starting off, Ozzy, what are we going to get into today?
Well, we had a bit of a weird start to the season because originally there weren't many people allowed into the games. Luckily, we've seen more and more fans coming through. So first of all, thank you so much to everyone who's showing up to the games. And also, thank you to those guys supporting us from home. It means a great deal. So whenever you can, jump out. Obviously, do your social distancing, but get along and support the students because everyone's support so far has been absolutely phenomenal.
And finally, we'd like to shout out to our great sponsors for supporting us during these tough times: Cape MG, Land Rover, Wingman, and most importantly, Bill Cole.
And here we are kicking off. Vinny, do you want to walk us through how the young thirsty third Colts have been going so far this season?
So this is obviously round one. This was a great game to kick off the season for us. This game showed, a low-scoring game. It showed quite a bit of grit and determination for the boys in the thirds. Man of the match performance went to Jeremy Elliott, who recently made his first Colts debut last week against Eastwood. But again, this was a game that kicked off the calendar with a strong win that grinded it out. And looking at the table, we should only be at third place, and we've got a bit to do in the latter half of the season.
Fair enough. And moving straight on, what you see here is actually probably my highlight of the season. We opened up with Warringah, who are always tough to beat, always have a huge set piece, but we luckily got away with a pretty good win. What you saw there was Rowan O'Regan with a great break off the line out, giving to some fantastic support play with Connor O'Shea. And I've got to be honest, Rowan O'Regan, coupled with Henry Clooney's Ross, have been some of the best performers so far in first grade.
I do agree from the standing spectator's perspective.
Couldn't agree more. And the good thing is they're sort of older heads in the group now, and they're definitely showing their experience out in the field. So that was a fantastic game up at Warringah, and we rolled on with lots of momentum into the next week.
Heading into this match, it's round two for second Colts. The Sydney Uni came away with a big win in this game. Vinny, do you have any key points from this game?
Like you said, the second round against Manly. Manly were always a tough opposition, showing quite a large forward pack. But to the credit of the second Colts for Sydney Uni, we put on a clinic. Hamish Max Smith, showed a lot of flair and skill in the back line there with Anthony Kirimbanis touching down over here. The likes of Taz Smith and Maurice Fellon in the halves there showed a lot of character in that game.
Unreal. Speaking of character, we now come into what was probably the scrappiest game of first grade season. We came up against Manly, who are an old, seasoned, weathered, wily team, and they made it difficult for us. And I think we probably made it difficult for ourselves. Our set piece was a bit off this game, line out and scrum. But what you're about to see here was what I was talking about before. Henry Clooney's Ross, his sort of cunning led to the fore, and he actually was able to scrape over here for a try. But another great performer, basically overall, was the back line in this game. Willow was fantastic. It's great to see him ripping up in a uni jersey, con man again, and we did enough to get over the line, which was unreal.
So now,
Ozzy, how would you rate some of the young guys coming through at the moment?
I think that's one of the best things so far about the comp. We've seen Hugh Bockenham, who's out. He would have been out there this game as well. Papi Savelli, Kieran Lowe, Tim Leela-Maava, who I actually did my first training session ever with at the club. Yeah, so it's awesome to see some of these guys getting the debut. Hopefully more and more guys. It's a big thing at the club to get a good culture program. And Vincenzo, mate, you'll be up there one day.
Hopefully one day.
More exciting than ever.
What position do you play?
Outside centre at the moment.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's lovely. Alrighty.
On to the
Colties again. We're here back with the Colties again. This is against the Wildfires. Now, this game was, again, similar to what we experienced in the seconds. The first boys put on a bit of a clinic up here in Newcastle, showcased some of the good launch plays we've been working on during the week. Jude Gibbs steering the ship around like Cooper Cronk. But the boys really enjoyed heading up to Newcastle. It was a great trip. Tibby Cook has hit the ladder with 9 tries this season, and that's the second across all competitions. So as you can see, we're just sitting up on second, just behind Rambic, so we've got a bit of work to do.
Yeah, exactly. And look, it was a great display from the Colties there, but it was probably even more a comprehensive display from the ones.
Most definitely.
They had the scrappy fight the week before, but luckily they were able to get up here and get some really clinical backs play together.
Right.
And that first half, I remember, I was on the sideline at the
Flick
time.
there from Dadsy.
100%. The backs were just on fire. Offer there going over. He was absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, he hurt himself. He hurt his knee during that game, but he'll be back in a couple of weeks. But the backs were absolutely firing. I think Tim Clements going in for another one there.
It was a fantastic day for our club. I mean, across all of our grades, including women's, came away with the W. So would have left a very sour taste in Hunter's mouth, but I want to definitely complain here in the Sydney Uni camp.
Bloody oath, and it was a gorgeous ground to be up there as well.
Heading into this season, the women's team, we put 2 teams into the Jack Scott competition. I think, if anything, it definitely speaks volumes of the growth that we've experienced. In this game in particular, it was a very physical game. 2 Blues always put up a physical contest in absolutely everything. But I think if there's anything I took away from this game it was a bloody group effort from forwards and backs. Jemima McCalman has been absolutely outstanding for us in that back line. It's probably not featured in this highlights reel, but she absolutely just smashes everyone straight through the middle. But some important performances to note from this was Grace Hamilton, our vice captain, playing number 8. She came away with the most valuable player from this match, and it's absolutely no secret that anyone that's really watched Hamilton, she's physical, she's strong, and we tend to look at her in the big moments to get us across. So right now, Sydney Uni 1 is sitting at the top of the ladder, and Sydney Uni 2, very exciting days, early days, but they're still making their way through the competition.
Yeah, unreal. And, trying to follow on from that success, this was another week for first grade to get a good win, and it was actually a really important win because as fun as it was to go up to Newcastle the previous week, unfortunately some members were sidelined because of coronavirus, and so we had a number of guys drop out this week, but it was a huge effort to come up against Penrith and produce a pretty dominant display. And as you can see at the back of the mall there, Timmy Leela-Maava, who, as I said before, I remember in his first session he rocked up in his Manu Samoa outfit, looking fantastic, and it was so good to see him get over for a meat pie there. And here we are into third grade, who have been actually my favourite team to watch this year. Their backline has been absolutely electric. There's the likes of Will Terry, Daniel Paletto, Sam Renton, Benny Bull has been on an absolute barnstormer, and many others. Nutsy, Nathaniel Tamoy's been in there as well. And their forward pack as well has been unreal. Paddy Calavassi always gives arguably too much, but I think it's just the right amount. Jack Stanford has been fantastic. And this game in particular, one of my favourite things about this game was, you'll see Celeste Mamalanga score. Jimmy Summerhays runs on, absolutely loves it, which is just so perfect, and I'm sure everyone else is feeling it. But third grade have had a bunch of seasons. And as you can see, they're top of the table because of it. And now on to fourth grade, who have been actually, unfortunately we don't have any clips to show, but my favourite team, my second favourite team, because I said third grade's my favourite team, but it's been great to see some of the older heads, Celeste Mamalanga, Siasi Halafanua as well, coming back into a uni jersey and absolutely tearing up. I remember against Manly, they were hugely dominant. And of course, Junya Yoshinaga, who was with us last year, has been playing the house down, as is Aiden Moore, always wears his heart on his sleeve, so those guys are definitely ones to watch. This was a tough week against South. Again, we still had about 12 guys out, but we did put a real fight in. A couple of guys, I think, got their first start in first grade, including Hugh Bockenham there, with Timmy Lilo connecting up with Dadsy, which was a fantastic try. But, we learned a lot from this game, which was good, and it was nice for the debutantes to get a crack, I guess.
Yeah, speaking of debutantes, there have been a few within the women's first grade team as well, including the likes of Piper Duck, Laurie Kramer, who's just joined us recently from Queensland, Jakai Whitfield, who's currently in the Sevens program, Brie Hoy and Britt Merlo. It's been bloody fantastic to see some girls featuring that first grade side.
Yeah, unreal.
Right.
And here we have the second grade, who had, I would say, probably the most important win of the year for the whole club, because second grade are currently placed, I think, second in the comp, and they had a tough loss against Southern Districts the week before. They needed to win against Eastwood, who are always difficult to beat at TG Milner, and they pulled out a really good, really great sort of outcome today. We've got Charlie Hancock there up front, all the way to Hughie Summerhays and Josh Schwager at the back, and then Jimmy Armstrong also put in a great effort in that game. And so currently they're second, and hopefully I'm sure they will rise up to the top. And after that game, There was a first grade game against Eastwood, and this was a real tussle, just as much as second grade. We had a real set piece battle. They were pretty evenly matched at scrum. Line out was a little bit topsy-turvy, but our maul was fantastic. But probably more than that, our when we got into the 22, we were just electric. And as you can see here, we focused on during the week trying to be a lot quicker, a lot more effective and accurate in our clean-outs, and so the backs could open up space wider when they did, and that's what they did with Timmy Clements piercing through for a couple.
Yeah, it's a sight to see Clem rip up, isn't it? He's been in stellar form, particularly linking up with Connor O'Shea and Will McDonald in the centres there.
What's the atmosphere like when you guys played Eastwood?
Oh, it's always grim. Obviously, in years before, it's probably a little bit louder, but it doesn't get any less unforgiving than TG Milner, and there's certainly no better feeling than beating Eastwood in front of their supporters. So,
Absolutely.
And now we are heading off to the end of the season, which shows...
Exactly right. Which shows that Sydney Uni are second placed in the first grade competition, but more importantly, our most prized possession here at Sydney University Football Club, the Creagh George Cup, the club championship. We've got a little bit to do. We're in second place, and so it's more important than ever that all the guys are ripping in at training during the week, and more importantly, we're getting huge amounts of support from you guys at home and our major sponsors who are on the screen now.